everybody. It's Thursday, June the 18th. This is the Made in Paradise podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're listening. Today, we're going to talk about gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Ferguson, what do you have for us this morning on the subject of gratitude?
Let me start with Darren. The same question is for John, but let me start with Darren. What experience in your life taught you the true value of gratitude?
What experience in my life? The true value to be grateful for. Okay, I would say for food at one point, because I remember, or actually, no, I'm going to take that back. I think heat, having central heat in a house. And so when I was growing up, I remember one time we had an issue with our heater, our boiler system. And so I remember it was a very cold winter, and the only thing that we had to heat the house was a kerosene heater. John, you remember them big old massive kerosene heaters that are super dangerous to have in the center of your living room? And so every morning when we'd have to get up and go to school, we would have to huddle around that while we're changing our clothes because it was just so cold in the house. And so we'd sleep by it when the boiler would go out, or we'd wake up and run over to it real quickly just to try to change our clothes quick enough to be able to get ready for school that day. And so you got out of that shower early in the morning, and you had a little bit of hot water because it was hooked up onto another system, but you got out immediately. You ran straight to that kerosene heater that was sitting in the living room to be able to warm up by it. So I think that's when I really learned my first experience. Man, I'm really grateful to have central heat in a house,
Right. John?
The death of my first wife, because we had planned to this life together, right? You get this idea. We got married and I was 19, she was 27. And we'd been together almost 14 years when she died. And so after that, you had this life plan going on. So you'd lived together all these years and you planned, we're going to do this. And we were working hard together, right? Saying we were really wanting to value life more and work less. And so we have this plan. You're trying to work through this plan where you're putting yourself in that position. And then all of a sudden, here's this life-ending illness, right? And they said if she got the chemo and it didn't work, right? She went 11 rounds, that she'd have a year to live, and she made it 3 years. But after that experience, I just thought, okay, I'm not being nearly as grateful for the moments that are passing by, and I became much more grateful. I think that was one of the things that really got me to move to Costa Rica, is to focus more on life. That was the whole idea behind moving to Costa Rica. Go to Costa Rica and focus more on life. And Anthony, when my children were little, how much time I was able to spend with them doing fun things, right? I was able to do that because of this business and because I made that intentional decision. So that gratitude from my first wife, having passed away so young, turned into me paying attention to my children in the second marriage, right? And really, really, really trying to make experiences and moments the most important thing. And I did that for years and years and years with them. And so, I have 15,000 photographs to show for it.
Right. And this is for John. Can a person be truly happy without being grateful?
No, I don't think so. No, your happiness is connected a whole lot to your level of contentment. And you can't be content without being grateful. Can you? No, right. No way.
Right. So do you believe that gratitude can exist without suffering?
No. It's just the way of
contrast.
Yeah,
we have to have the contrast. Yeah, you bet. You don't know what you have until you lose it.
Right. Well, and can you define in this scenario what would be suffering for you? Because people can get this wrong way, right? Because
Well,
this generation.
just about everybody is suffering. I mean, what do you mean? Be more specific about what you mean. Just about everyone is
that's sorry, no, that's why I asked you for your definition, because no, in these days we find people that they call suffering. Oh, my phone is completely discharged. Oh, that's not suffering. Excuse me, but that's not suffering.
It is. It's just very minor, right?
Right, but
because suffering, but realize you're putting the suffering on it, right? So you can look over and say, "Oh, my phone's not charged, man." And that's it. This happened to me this morning, right? This very thing happened to me this morning. I'm very good about keeping my phone charged. And I looked down and it's at 20%. And I thought, what'd I do, right? What'd I do to that got down to 20%? But I didn't make any emotional attachment to it. I just went and got the charger. But realized my whole morning is so ordered, right? That in the morning, the very first thing I do is put on some very specific music that I listen to every single morning before meditation, right? So it's that music that's getting me into the attitude of meditating and studying. So I put the same music on every morning. I use the iPhone. So today I had to plug it in the bedroom, and there was an extra few steps in my day because I didn't make that charge for whatever reason, but I never attached any emotion to it. It's just a mistake, and I went on, right?
Right.
So the suffering is in the emotion that we attach to it. I could have been very upset. Why did I do that? How did I feel? And be upset with myself, and that would have done absolutely nothing.
Heaven and hell is in your hand.
Right.
You decide.
Right. And so someone says, okay, I'm in pain, right? I have this pain. I'm suffering in my body. I'm suffering a physical pain. Well, that's a whole different type of suffering. But if you've had any pain, you know that you can say, oh man, my shoulder hurts. Oh man, my shoulder's killing me, right? We can attach emotion to the pain that's there. And I constantly explain to my much younger wife that a 56-year-old body, a 1970 model, doesn't run as well as a 1993 model, right? And she doesn't get that yet. She doesn't get it. Yes. But she's starting to get that. She's like, why does that hurt? I said, because it's not a brand new model anymore. It will get a little scuff and a little scratch here and there, right?
That's why it's important to take care of your body.
There you go. Daily. See, right. There you're right. There you are.
Okay. Last question for you both. What is something that money can never buy and for which you are deeply grateful? Let's start with Darren.
Something money can never buy? I mean, I think we talked about this kind of yesterday with friendship. I mean, money, you can try to buy friendship, but it's really not there. As soon as that money's gone, they're gone. So
it was never friendship.
I think love as well. You can't buy that because as soon as it's gone, it's gone.
Well, that's a whole discussion about love, but
right.
You're saying, so repeat the question again, Anthony.
So what is something that money can never buy and for which you are deeply grateful?
Money can never buy.
The first thing that came to my mind was my relationship with my mentor, Brooks, right? Because it's something that I had nothing to do with. He just picked me for whatever reason and said, I'm going to spend some time for no reason with this kid and see how it goes, right? And he just continued to enter my life and be a good counsel for me over and over and over again. And he was the person, other than my mother, really showed me Jesus. And I didn't have anything to do with it. I wasn't doing anything for him to make his life any better, that real mentor relationship, right? And there's no way money could have bought it in any way, shape, or form. And I think that most of the experiences in life that are really valuable, money can't touch them anyway.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's all from my side. Darren?
I'd like to ask you, Anthony, is there a hardship in your life that you weren't grateful for in the moment at the time, but now you're completely grateful for?
Yes, there's I could say back in the time, my childhood, I had these friends that they was a little bit older, and they saw things, and they was always trying to like avoid me to be fall in that trap, whatever. And they was always like guiding me, and I'm like, leave me alone, right? Why are you always like trying to? Because since I thought that he don't want me to be happy back in the time, right? I was pretty sure, no, you want me to be happy, leave me alone. And the thing is that the long story is that we went to the ocean, to the sea, and there's this reef, right? This huge rock around the ocean, and I didn't know to swim very well, right? So the thing is that I was pretending to be brave, and I was like, hey, so the guy lived right in front of the sea, right? The ocean. So he knew a lot of diving and swimming and all that. So the thing is, bottom line is that he used to jump from the reef in the ocean, and right close to the reef, there's a huge hole for some reason, right? All the time you jump from the reef in the ocean, right close to the reef, there's a huge hole like going down, and I didn't realize. So he jumped several times, and I'm like, I'm gonna jump here. He said, please no. I'm like, I'm gonna jump there. He's like, please not. So he called his mom, and he said to his mom, Andrew's about to jump there. And his mom said, leave him. He probably knows to swim very well. And I jumped, and he immediately jumped right behind me. And I fall right in the hole, and he pulled me out. And then I said, oh shit. And I would have that immediately in my mind for all my life.
Right, being grateful for. What about you, John? Was there any hardships in your life that at the time you're like, man, this sucks, but now you're looking back and you're like, well, I'm really grateful I had that experience?
When I was I'll try and remember what age it was, but 11 or 12, somewhere right in there. Me and a buddy of mine were in my room in the house playing video games. My mother get ready to go to the store, and she said, do not go outside. No matter what you do not go outside. And especially do not go over there on your brother's property where he's building that house, and be on over there. Okay, Mama, fine. And she left, and she went out the door. And we look at the blinds, right? Wait for her to leave.
Right, that's just telling a 12-year-old, all right, don't do it.
Sing them to a dog. Yeah, just sing them to a dog. And she drove out, and let's go. So over my brother's property, and there's these big pine trees, right? So he's cut down these pine trees into pieces, right? So they can haul them off. So, because, a pine tree is just, it can be, if you're looking at a whole group of them, you say, okay, how beautiful the forest, right? But if you just look at the individual tree, not too much to look at, just a straight tree going up, right? Got stuff of just a big lightning rod sticking up, really. So he cut it down, and he cut it into pieces. Let's call it 1.5 feet or 2 foot long. Maybe longer than that. Maybe we call it 3 foot long pieces. But you realize it's so heavy to pick it up, right?
Right.
And so it was laying over, and it had been cutting all these pieces. And so me and my buddy, we'd get up on top of the logs, and we'd balance, right? You balance back and forth, and you step to the next log, you step to the next log. And so I stepped on a log, and the log rolled out from under me, like, we knew we were gonna laugh at whoever the log rolled out from under. The log rolled out from under me, and I stuck my arm out behind me, and the growth bone right here, we was going, whoop, it came right here, just right underneath my skin. So it was just, the bone was like this, my hand was like this, and I couldn't move it. This is all swollen like this, and the bone is right here. So you can see that there's a scar here and another scar over here. It took like 3 or 4 different surgeries before they finally got it right and got it in the right position. So, children, obey your parents.
That's so hard though, because anytime my parents would tell me, hey, don't go do this, it's like telling a kid, don't press that red button. Well, the kid's now going to want to go press that red button.
Right, exactly. That's exactly it. Do not think of a big pink elephant, and that's all you can think about. Oh my goodness.
Right.
All right, Darren, what else you got for us?
Do you think that gratitude can be manufactured? Like not feeling it naturally, but can you force yourself to have it and actually work?
Yes, absolutely. No problem. So easy. Just imagine something that's precious to you and you lost it. That's it. That it's gone. Look over at your family member or whatever and say, this person is gone from my life. How would I feel? It's so easy to get into that frame of mind. And after my wife passed, it really, it has sunk in deep. If you're with someone and you want to say something to that person, you want to resolve a situation, or you want to tell them how you feel about them, tell them how you appreciate them, whatever, you do it now, because tomorrow you don't know.
Right. But I kind of feel like it's the same as smiling. They say when you're angry or you're upset, smile.
Yeah.
That only gets you it only gets you so far though, because when you have that internal feud that's going on,
it's just because you're just not good at smiling. It's just because you're not good at smiling. It's an internal thing of you getting control of your emotion or not. You can get control of your emotion or not. Right? You can grab completely hold of yourself if you absolutely need to, especially with the help of a little adrenaline, like when you're high and a cop's coming up to the window.
Right. You never ran so fast in your life.
And you're just, all of a sudden, you're just the most sober church mouse you've ever been in the life. Good evening, officer.
Right.
Why on earth have I disturbed you this evening?
Yeah. Anthony, is there a moment recently, let's say this week, that that you almost let pass, that you really appreciate, that you're grateful for? Has there been anything recent that you've had?
Yes, recently I have a whole car at this moment. So the thing is that I've been driving around with the car, and I have to take the car to the mechanic, right? I have to take the car to the mechanic. But I could say that I became ungrateful for it, right? Just driving around. He would take a little bit more days. So the thing is that the car literally take me to the place I had to be on time, and then it stopped working.
Okay, well, yeah, but you have to be grateful for exactly the provision that you needed.
Right.
Reason behind everything, right?
Right.
And maybe you needed an attitude adjustment in that moment. We've had several times when our relationship, Anthony, when I had to give you an adjustment, you really needed one, so you can find some more gratitude, right?
Right.
Yep. I've certainly had that before, where the car breaks down in the spot where you need it to be. You drive it all the way home, and
there you go.
Breaks down right there. You're like, all right, perfect. It worked out good.
Yeah.
John, do you think gratitude and ambition can coexist?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone, your life can't exist without gratitude of some kind, right? You have to. You got some thankfulness in your life, or your life just not existing. There's something in your life you're thankful for, right? Or you're in super deep depression, right? So, yeah, absolutely. Going through life, being thankful and being ambitious. Yeah, I'm thankful that I just got an extra, $20 million. But at the same time, the different levels of gratitude, right?
Right.
I mean, we feel sometimes like the birth of my children, for example, right? That there's a deep sense of gratitude that you can feel in that moment that isn't like other senses of gratitude. Right, Anthony?
Right.
The moment your children are born, you think back in that moment, you think, wow,
right.
God has allowed me to reproduce. Who'd have thought? Miracles never cease.
Right. All right, last question. Why do you think people that have very little are more grateful than people that have a lot?
Because you have to rely a whole lot more on faith. Right? If you never have to go without, you don't have that contrast. then you have no understanding of what's really valuable in life. I was watching some video on some social media, and there's some guy over in Japan, and apparently he needs people to feed him as an adult, right? And he's rich at the level that he has these two people and they're feeding him. And he believes that that is what he needs to do, right? And that's some level. And I just don't get it. I just can't go there. That's a level beyond, right? Like when Anthony said, do not open you can bring me a soda. Do not a soda. That makes me uncomfortable. That's a level of service beyond what I think is acceptable. Some stuff I want to do for myself. Right.
Exactly. Well, that ends my questions. John, you got anything?
No. Well, on the subject of gratitude, we can go just on and on and on. I mean, I really am trying in this moment to make sure in the moment that I put anything in my mouth that I'm internally grateful for it, that I have acknowledged and spent that moment internally of saying thank you. Anything, right? So it's another self-imposed psychological trap to help me to stay present. Because if I'm putting it in my mouth, I should be grateful for it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I'm putting into my body, I should be grateful for, whether it's a pill or smoke or a liquid, whatever it is, food, of course, I should be grateful for that. Oxygen, right?
Yep.
I look up at the trees. I always think about something Sadhguru said. He said, every time you look at a tree, remember that's half your lungs hanging up there. And I thought, yep, that's exactly right, right? I look out outside to see these trees and I think, wow. I mean, there's the Tres Marias right here, right? Which is the three little mountains in Heredia. And every time I look up there, it's like, wow, what a set of lungs.
Weird, right? How it works, because like you just said in regard to the guru, in regard to all these trees and all that, but what happened in the desert?
What do you mean? We're talking about how to be grateful in the desert?
No. You're talking about whenever you look on the trees, you're thinking on all the oxygen because of all these trees. But what happened in the desert?
You mean where's the oxygen coming from in the desert?
Right.
It's still coming from these trees. Yep. That's exactly right. You got to have the trees. You don't have the trees, we can't breathe. So that oxygen that's out there in the middle of the desert came from all of these trees right here in Costa Rica. That's why I've moved up next to it, because everyone, it seems like a lot of people on this planet don't realize we need to maintain this thing we're on. This planet, we only have this one planet, that there are no trees on Mars. But despite Elon's fantasy, I would rather have these trees naturally growing on the side of this mountain to breathe with than some we've planted on a rock in space under a dome, right? So I moved up close to the lungs of the planet.
Here shortly they're gonna cut them all, right? Here shortly they're gonna cut.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Not these trees in Costa Rica. They may cut a bunch of others. I mean, they're cutting them down in Brazil like crazy. They're always fighting over that. But these trees here, you cannot cut a tree down here. It's like shooting an animal. You don't touch it. This whole place is a park and protected. Yeah, there's crazy legal fines here, right, for cutting a tree down. There's a contraband wood business because of that. I mean, it's crazy. You know, in Limon, you live there. You know about the contraband wood business and how you better not be driving down the road with some trees in your truck that you don't have a permit for. See, in the United States, we have no clue about that. We go to Home Depot, you just load up the lumber or whatever. You never think about anything like that. But in Costa Rica, don't cut the trees. So that I got to import all the wood.
Unless you got permission from the government. And that's rare. Right. That's rare to get.
It's super rare because we have no smokestacks, right? So you can't just go out and start some industry that blows smoke in the air, which is another such beautiful thing about Costa Rica. Thank you, Costa Rica. Thank you, Ticos, right? Mm-hmm. Keep it a park. Don't touch the forest. So that's the one thing all the Ticos seem to agree on all the time is don't mess up. Stop eating all the animals. Don't cut the trees down. Stop. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched this far, the Made in Paradise podcast, we talk about life issues every day. Today, we're supposed to stay on the subject of gratitude. I hope we mostly did. We're here every week, Monday through Friday, hopefully in the morning, depending upon how busy we are. 3 of us work a business called Proven Performer that sells big closeout and liquidation deals. 10 containers, 20 containers, 30 containers, whatever it happens to be. We can help you sell it, or we can help you find it if you want to buy it. And so today we're going to talk about some of those closeout deals. And if you want to reach out to us, our contact information is going to be down below. We love WhatsApp. You can also reach at those beautiful email addresses down below. Anthony Ferguson se habla español. So if you want to talk in Spanish, he will be happy to do that and tell you about any of the deals that you see here on the show. And today, it's all food. So Darren, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with these F3 energy drinks.
All righty. F3 Energy, we got a whole bunch of different flavors. Citrus Clarity, Tropical Fury, Strawberry Lemonade, Orange Sickle, Peach Paradise, Pina Colada, Strawberries and Cream. Talking about 6,000 cases, 81,312 units, 29 pallets. This is FOB's Arizona. I think this is probably gonna wait out at 20 pallets. So this is probably a truck and some, but these are 8.3 cents a can. Crazy, 8.3 cents a can. Expiration dates starting this month on the 24th and going all the way through August 1st. We have this manifest that you see up on the screen. We'd be happy to send to you. F3 Energy at 8.3 cents a can, which works out to $1 a case. $1 a case on energy. All right. What's next?
Next deal are these fruit snacks.
Unicorn fruit snacks. I'm remembering Price is Right. There's 46,000 of these left. We've sold a whole bunch of these fruit snacks already. 46,690 units. They're 20 cents a box. Expiration in September. Still some good dating left there. 19 pallets. So that's a whole truckload for less than 10 grand. FOB New Jersey. Reach out if you want that information. Let's talk about lasagna and tiramisu. These have an expiration in December and January, so that's really good. All the way out to the lasagna kit in April of 27. There are 1,053 cases of this, 7,371 units, $1.50 for the tiramisu kits and the lasagna kit. I love tiramisu, just had to say. Right?
That's good.
And a vegetarian lasagna that my wife makes, both of you have had the benefit of several times. That lasagna will set you free. Sue and lasagna kits, FOB New Jersey, 7,371 units at $1.50. Hey, we love offers too. If you got an offer, jump up. We're ready to talk about that. Last deal of the day is, now, how are you going to pronounce this energy drink, Darren?
Isby,
right? I don't know what else to say besides Isby.
Isby, high vibe clean energy.
Isby, high vibe clean energy. Anthony, how would you pronounce that? Isby? You're muted.
Isby.
Maybe that's it. It sounds a little more designer, Isby, than Isby. Isby, high vibe, clean energy. There are 60 pallets of these, 86,724 units at 30 cents a can. Expiration in February 2027. FOB Salt Lake City, Utah. It's hot in Utah. People are thirsty. high vibe, clean energy in ginger, lemon ginger, passion fruit, orange guava, and pomegranate blueberry. 30 cents a can. Refresh yourself all the way till February of 2027. And we get new food deals constantly every week. If you're a food buyer, if you're interested in even big frozen food deals, we'd love to talk to you about those as well. If you buy food, reach out to one of these beautiful gentlemen, Darren Fingleton or Anthony Ferguson, if you'd love to talk in Spanish and hear his beautiful Spanish, or ask him to speak in patois. He loves that. Call him on the phone and say, Anthony, I understand the native language there is patois and would love to converse with you. Teach me a little patois today on the call. And Anthony would be happy to oblige. For the Made in Paradise podcast, I'm John Clark, your host, and we're going to see you tomorrow on Friday. Ciao.